Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Queen Lisa. Today was hat day at homeschool co-op. So you guys are getting, and then we had ice cream day afterwards because yes, uh, that's how we roll at the homeschool co-op. And Cannon did a great job today. So all the rewarding, all the good stuff for the hard work. So, and Sean was patient with me. So I appreciate that from my buddy. Be right back with him right after this. Give me a like, share the video, and join us in the live chat. Hey, thanks for being patient with us today and waiting. Cannon said to tell you thank you again.
Yes, that was nice of him.
Yes, he was very excited.
Jealous he got ice cream. But
he actually ordered chicken strips with gravy and French fries and a Sprite because
over to Dairy Queen?
No, Brahms. So we have Brahms in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
That's like the big deal in Oklahoma is Brahms, not so much Dairy Queen, but
Dairy Queen's kind of big in Texas.
Yeah.
There's a special kind of Dairy Queen. I forget what it's called. It used to matter.
Well, the thingy that they serve upside down at Dairy Queen.
The Blizzard.
The Blizzard, yeah. You get your it's like a mix or it's like a shake but very thick, and they put candy or cookies or something in it and mix it up, and then they stick a spoon in it, and they have to serve it to you upside down to show how thick it is. That's a thing if you're from up north or whatever. It's not a cowgirl hat. It's actually like just felt like
you should wear it.
I don't know. My husband
should wear it.
It's like a Australian hat of some kind. I was like, no, it's like what did my daughter told me? There's a clean girl is a new term for like a yuppie. Like we had yuppies or what were all the things? I don't even remember all the things, all the names. Yeah, not a sun hat because it's like a winter hat.
Why do they change words? It really starting to bother me. It changes the meaning.
They still have crunchy girl or crunchy mom, which is like a hippie or whatever, which that's been pretty much, and that's kind of like a messy girl. But then there's like the clean girl, which she's more like white shirt, black yoga pants, black Lululemon crossbody, and hair slicked back. So I'm maybe a little too messy for clean girl, but mostly this is like too much. But I had
one thing I hate about Trump is that he made the term fake news.
He didn't actually make it.
Well,
so actually Genghis Khan came up with fake news way back. Cannon and I did. Well, Cannon did the report.
No, he didn't.
Yes.
Genghis Khan never said fake news.
Well, he created the idea of fake news.
I mean the word. It bothers me.
Wow. He created the idea of fake news.
It's a lie. And when you make, like, if you call it fake news, it's like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's a thing. All you did, you lied. It's so much more powerful when you say, that's a lie, rather than fake news.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, that's what the Speaker of the House has been doing, is just calling them out and going, just stop. You know how you hate the thing where during the hearings they go, thank you for asking that question.
Yes.
I think what you're asking is, and he's like, no, what I said was blah, blah, blah. And you're still not answering my question. Yeah, and I don't think you're going to answer my question. So what I'm going to do is
I don't understand why Congress should have the power to make you answer a question. It's like when you don't have the power to call someone before your committee or before the Senate and ask them a question and they have to answer it. You seem like you're completely worthless. Like our government's completely worthless.
Well, they've already made deals. I mean, think about when Elizabeth Warren and Gary had their emails back and forth. We've seen it all. It's all orchestrated. It's all BS.
He said that. It blew my mind. He goes, I know that you've had, been talked with your lawyers before you even came up here, and you have a list of what you're going to say, what you can't say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how does that work? You have a list of things you can't say. You get subpoenaed to go before Congress.
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer the questions. And they even say, I would like a yes or no answer. Well, thank you. As I said before, I am wearing corduroy pants. Yes, they make that
Well,
move.
they can pull a Fifth Amendment and say, like, I'm not going to say anything that will incriminate myself.
Exactly. That's what they used to have to do. And it seems like now they don't have to do that. They just can say, they literally say things, whatever they want. They'll
They
ask
just
them a
say
question like,
bananas and chandeliers.
did you do this? And it's like, that's a great question.
Bananas and
I love,
chandeliers.
I love apples. I do.
I'll get back with you. I'll
Yeah.
get back with you on that. Yeah. It's some ridiculousness.
It does infuriate me.
I did have a problem with, or I'm curious how, because I've been in court cases where I know you have to submit exhibits before the court case. And so I did not understand. Everybody was up in arms. And, I support Trump. I believe he's telling the truth. In as much that he has to play the game like everyone else, don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing. But I did not understand they're trying to 14th Amendment him or whatever they're doing, and trying to get him off the ballot in Colorado. And they said that he pulled something out of his jacket and wanted to present it to the court. And they were like, oh, they won't let him. They won't let him. Well, because you can't do that. You have to show the other side any exhibits that you're going to submit to the court, or you guys have to agree on it, or there is like a procedure or whatever, unless the courts have changed, unless you're standing in a court of equity. And I do believe that there is a strong possibility that we may have had a shift. I keep hearing things about things changing. We're in the new year now. We know the fiscal year ended the end of October. I heard Monkey Works talking last night, talking about that they have new money, so they're flying again. There's been a lot of this, so I don't know. We might see some new things happening, new procedures or something. I don't know. Very strange.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I can't see it.
we need something. I mean, you can see how broken
Who is this crazy person?
things are. It doesn't take anything, but I guess it's a good thing in the fact that it shows people how broken the system is. I think we're done. I think things are like we are. I mean, everyone says it's end times. I think we're in the end times now.
Yeah, which an end to something means the beginning of something else.
Or it can just mean the end of it. I think
energy cannot be created or destroyed, so it has to go somewhere.
we can be done as a species, just finished, we're gone.
No, I'm not giving up yet.
Um,
I got grandchildren to meet. I got things to do. I got people to
yeah,
hug.
there's some rough stuff that they're doing that I knew they were going to do it. I knew they were going to do the things that they're doing, but I thought it would take a year or longer. And they're already talking about it, which blows my mind. Remember we talked about the draft and how Biden's talking about bringing back the draft, and I was worried about. I mean, I was angry about like my kids. So I looked into it, and then I found out that remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
that undocumented that migrants or what are they called? Immigrants can be called up in a draft, documented and undocumented. Which the only way to get undocumented workers is to like round them up and say, "Oh, you're here. Guess what? Now you're going to war." So that was interesting for me. That was like if something clicked, like that's why they're bringing all these people in. They knew this was something planned out. All the chaos that's here, and they wanted more.
That's all a distraction to once again these court cases that are going on. There's one that's huge right now that we've been fighting for a long time, and it's something that affects you and I specifically, the one about censorship. And that now there is proof that our government went to big tech. It's rolling out. There's this court cases happening in multiple states that our government, and they're trying to, what's weird to me is media is trying to say that big tech censored people. It wasn't big tech that was censoring people. It was our own government that went to big tech.
And in partner with the media themselves, and then big tech was just kind of
the tool
was talking about the media has said this. This is it.
And they used schools. They used
but all that what I was talking about is why the open borders, why all these people coming in. And it kind of clicked in my head when I read these people can be drafted and sent as cannon fodder to wherever we go. And they would be if you were in Guatemala or you stayed in Belize or wherever. We can't touch you. But if you're come across the border, they can pick you up and send you to war. That's ridiculous. But remember, I told you that the draft was 18 to 25. That's what's practiced, but it can be ordered where they go up to 42 years old. Guess what they're doing? They're raising it to 42 years old. So now my kids are all in the mix. So I was like, 25, y'all are good. Now we can. They're raising the age to 42 for where you can go into the military. So not happy about that stuff at all.
I just think it's noise. I don't think it's going to happen.
Why would you say that?
Because I don't think that's what's really happening.
You don't think
Do you see all the AI with 6 fingers and whatever?
That's about stupid shit. Like if Michelle Obama was a man, there's people.
No, it's not.
There's people dying over in Israel, and
those pictures are the ones that are being faked.
But there are people.
And they're also taking pictures from 2023 or 2013 and video from 2013 and showing it now as current. A lot of what you're seeing is not.
You also said that there wasn't a war in Ukraine, and that is there really something going on? There is, and it's worse than. I mean, now things are coming out that the Russians are beating the crap out of them, and people are starting to wake up to, dude, they're a little country. Russia's the biggest country in the world. They're the biggest.
When you listen to what
billion more people
speeches, he says it's like we're an island, and you have to really critically think. If you listen to Trump's speeches and really critically think, and then start looking at the AI and start looking and do your research on the images and the searches, like everyone needs to do their own research. Everyone needs to make their own choices. But you do not need to live in fear. You do not need to take action from a place of fear. Peace, love, joy, gentleness, goodness, kindness, long suffering. Those are things that you should take action and move on. And if you're taking action out of those other things, then you're not. Then you're being driven by something else. And I don't think that's a positive.
Somewhere said the Russians were winning from day one. It's just a meat grinder. It is a meat grinder. And they want to keep it going. And the only way to keep it going with the meat grinder is to put in more meat. And if we end up there, it's going to be the worst thing, I think, that we could do. There's no reason for American troops to go there.
No, just keep sending our money there that comes back in contracts to the elite's pockets, and just let innocent people die if something's really happening over there, which I don't know that it is.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it is. It's much worse than what they're telling people.
Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was the censorship and the political stuff and the fact that all these the GOP thing has happened and there are no other runners. I mean, people are it is everybody says who won the GOP debate? Trump. Well, he didn't attend it.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
won by not attending,
Yes.
which literally is Biden's whole strategy. He's just doing a Biden.
He's not
Biden.
doing a Biden. He actually showed up and spoke at his own event. He's not
Well,
just
yeah, but I mean,
sleeping in his
as
basement
far as
and
Biden didn't take part in doing anything, or and he won.
no,
So he's just
that's not the
he's
same
like,
thing.
and it's kind of funny.
No action versus speaking in a different platform is not the
But
same thing.
one is the political. Um,
But he
it's the
knows
way things
all
are
of those
supposed to go.
GOPs are or the majority of the GOP are rhinos. Why would he associate himself with that? He's trying to stand
Well, he used to.
outside of that.
That's the process. You're supposed to debate. That's how our founding fathers set things up. We should be able to hear and listen to both people. We should be able to ask them questions. And he's not taking part in it, so but he's winning, and everything. It's like those. It's like when I said something, you can like something, but it's wrong. And like, oh, they just deplatformed Alex Jones. That's good. I'm like, no, man. Even if you hate him, it's wrong. It's going to lead to where we are today. So, I mean, I can understand why he's not taking part. I mean, he's winning. It's like there's not even he says there's no reason for him to go. And Gavin Newsom, he hit the nail on the head. He's like, this is the B team. He said these people are running for at vice president. They're not. Nobody there is going to be the president. If at best Trump will pick someone to run with him from those people, but none of those people are going to be the nominee.
He's
Everyone
not
knows.
gonna pick any of them to run with him because he sees them all as traitors running against him,
I just
in
got
my opinion.
I just got a text from the one chick who's still in there like an hour ago. Who was it? That the lady. And she said, "Do you have a minute, Sean?" I was like, "Who is this?" It was Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley's texting you?
Yeah, but I mean, there is one thing I like about her. I liked about Vivek is that they're like, "Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," and that's something that Trump did. It was one of the reasons he won. Is because he said, "This is messed up. I'm going to fix it like this."
And
Where
then he did.
where everything had been, this guy sucks over here because this, and this. And they're like, no, you suck because of this. That was our debate. Nobody was like, I'm going to do this. This needs to be fixed. We're going to do this. They were like, that guy's way worse than me. That guy sucks for this reason. And then they're like, that guy sucks for this reason. That was it. It was ridiculous.
But Nikki Haley's a weffer, isn't she?
I don't know.
That's my understanding.
That has been interesting, Jason. I don't like that he plagiarized his speech, but at the same time, I'm like, you're really gonna be super critical of someone who has a speechwriter? It's not like anything's organic, and they go up there and just talk, shit. I mean, Trump does that, a lot, but there's no like professional politician who doesn't have a speechwriter and a team. So I guess I can still give the guy the benefit, of the doubt in that, because I like the stuff that he said. He said like radical stuff, like we need to shut down these three-letter agencies, but then said why and how like we're not going to lose security. The Department of Justice can do this; these people can do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to keep all of these agencies. It's excess, and it's hard to have oversight the more agencies you have, literally, because it's not like you're adding more people to Congress to cover more agencies.
Well, that's the other thing he mentioned in his speech in Houston was the RAINS Act. If you listen carefully, he mentions the RAINS Act. And if we bring the RAINS Act in, then that does hold Congress accountable and to not put off their duties
Mm-hmm.
of serving the people onto these three-letter agencies, which is where it gets just so messy and all those middlemen get involved and policy gets written and the kangaroo courts and all of that kind of stuff ends up happening.
I think it's one thing that the biggest thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene has done and Gates is show how much your stuff is a kangaroo court,
Mm.
how much everything is just it's not working like we thought it was. You know, she said that like I remember it was like 2 years ago. She said that everybody is really mad at her and hates her because she calls a vote on stuff and she makes them like when she does it, everyone has to leave their office and come down and put in. And she said everyone's like, that's not how we do things here. Like we don't like to work. And she like makes just does the way that we thought the process worked. And she said it blew my mind that they're like, no, it's not how we do things.
Mhm.
And she's like forced people to do their job. And I thought that was good. And then Gates, he is, you can hate him or love him, but he says, hey, this needs to be done. And when someone agrees to like with McCarthy, I thought McCarthy was doing like an okay job, but he's like, hey, you said you were going to do this, this, and this. It's been this long, you haven't done it. You're out. And
It
that
was
really
just a lot of hearings though, and you brought that up, like that it was hearing after hearing after hearing with no consequence.
right. And it has to, but that's how we have to start doing that. Us, like any politician from local up, we have to say, hey, you didn't do what you're doing.
Right.
If
Primary.
it's been 2 years, you say, hey man, you ran, you said you're going to do these two things, you haven't done them.
Yeah.
You have 2 years, or else, or you have a year,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to recommend primarying you because you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
And we've been it's a mix of laziness and trusting. We've just thought the system worked. We've trusted in the system to work, and it doesn't.
Lack of education
I think that,
and laziness. I will agree to that, yeah.
but our country was set up. It's an experiment, and they're starting to use the word experiment. That the United States was an
Mm.
experiment. This is an experiment, and because it hadn't been done before. It's not, government's going to fix this or do this. It's we the people. So it's not like you get a sticker. It's that is kind of offensive when you look at it. It's literally like you're a child and you get like a little gold star that means nothing
Mhm.
except for like a little like validation. And like you did your job now. I did my job. I get my participation trophy. Where I'm done. Like no, that's expected. That's you
That's
should.
where I love the I am, for I am's umbrella policy thing, because if they don't do their job, they don't get paid.
But also that's if you don't if nobody cares enough to see if they've done their job, and
Right.
that's where we've got to. We're like all I have to do is show up and vote, and then I could I get the sticker. I could put my little
Mhm.
Facebook thing around my picture. I voted. People like, hey, I voted. Then you're done for years. You pat
Mhm.
yourself. No, that's like you woke up and then you're like, I'm good, I'm done. Like, no, you have to get up and go to work. You have to go do all the. It's like
Just
it didn't
saying.
end
Yeah.
with just waking up. It's the bare minimum is voting. You have to be self-governed, which means you have to make sure you're those people's bosses. And that's another thing that we forgot. They work for us. That
Mhm.
means we have to make sure they're doing their job. And if they don't, then they get fired. You fire them.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to wake up. We're starting to get that.
I agree. I agree. Well, we know the boss is famous for saying you're fired. So I think we can all take a page out of his book. Let's jump over to your channel and you can tell us all about your hot topics for today. Because I know you're burning to talk about all that.
Yeah, well, I don't know about burning. I'm sad, but okay. All right. Love y'all.
All right. We'll see you guys over on Sean's channel. Thanks for watching. Give us a like on the way out and share the video. Thanks. We'll see you over on Satoshi Sean's.